people who are willing. This is for people who are willing to think. And definitely thinking is not easy, as Thomas Edison said. That is the reason why only very few people engage in it. So in order for people to encourage thinking, we have started this program. This is the first program on Alt Academy. It's called as OTP, Open Thoughts Program. Now, I really thank the two speakers who have come forward to speak on a subject of today, which is what are the areas in people's lives that needs to be improved. Some said it's a very vast topic. That is where we have these thinkers who are going to distill their essence of wisdom. So what if the topic is vast? Let me introduce our first speaker, who will be speaking for around 7 minutes. She is Ms. Sameera Mohsin. She has done her master's in healthcare management and has experience in working in hospitals in Saudi Arabia and London. The name of the hospital in London is St. Bartholomew's, the oldest hospital of the world. Of course, the hospital is old, but Ms. Sameera is young. Right?
Of course.
Right? It's the oldest hospital, along with management consultancies like JLL and Frost and Sullivan. She has pursued a diploma in change management from Oxford University and has come to realize that the biggest change has to come from within oneself. Now let us hear Ms. Sameera Mohsin on the topic, what are the areas that people need improvement in their lives? I hand over to Ms. Sameera Mohsin. The platform is yours. We are listening. Attentive.
Thank you. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Thank you so much, Askar sir, and of course, the ALT Academy for this opportunity. I've obviously had the pleasure to be associated with your academy for a couple of years now, and the best part about your WhatsApp group is that every morning when there is a ting from your group, it sets you thinking, and it puts you into reflective mode. Sometimes you need to rediscover and reinvent that. The questions that you ask every day are so thought provoking that is one of the reasons that attracted me to this topic today. Obviously, the work that you have been doing is extremely impressive, and your style of work and work ethics is phenomenal. That is why it is such a pleasure for us at Parrho&Parrhao to collaborate with you, along with my colleagues, Mrs. Nikhat Jamil, who's the founder of Parrho&Parrhao, and Sana Junaid and myself, who are the co-founders. Coming back to our topic of today, if you don't mind, Mr. Askar, even though you have kept the questions in the end, I would love for this session to be interactive. Yeah, and while I'm talking, if there's
as you please.
Yeah, if there are any questions, if there are any, if people would like to interrupt me while I'm talking and fill it with their thoughts and ideas, it would be fantastic. It's always so good to hear from the audiences, right?
Sure,
So
you have.
yeah.
Let me just think. In the 7 minutes, what you have, you can be free to ask questions, take answers from them. And later on, in general, we'll open the platform again for question and answers. No worries.
Absolutely, absolutely. So coming back to your question on areas of improvement in people's lives. Okay, so it is a vast topic, but it's an extremely, extremely thought-provoking one. Can I ask this question to all of you? what do you think informs the areas of improvement in people's lives? What do you think you need to improve more? Or what will define what those areas should be? Does anyone have any thoughts on this? Matlab, where do we start from? Where does it all start? Yes, Asma, would you like to say something?
Yeah. I think as you said that, whenever you wake up in the morning and you get a ting and, it gives you an idea. So I think it all starts from the thinking that first you have to bring a change within, and only
Hmm.
then you can preach others. Practice while you preach. That is how you can learn, and you can help others as well in the same time. But it has to, you have to change the thinking process first.
That's such a beautiful thought. And someone else said positive thinking. So you see, personally, I think that the points that you have made are fantastic. But for me, what informs my area of improvement is my value, my core belief, and my value system. Okay, because how will you even realize that there is a scope of improvement in my life, right? So my values and my value system will define where I need to begin, because nobody is perfect out here. Nobody is perfect. There is always scope of improvement. There is always a scope of growth. So unless you realize that what, there is scope, there is a margin, there is something, like Mr. Askar said in the beginning, we are all students. We are all learning something new every single day. So let's first accept the fact that what, there is a scope of improvement. We are not perfect, and there is always room for growth, right? So that sort of brings me into the crux of my topic. What one feels is important, and what truly matters for me, they are values such as empathy, kindness, and ethics. I feel these values go a very, very long way, and they should never be compromised. Whether you are at school, because we've got some young students here as well, whether we are in a workplace, many of us are working, we interact with colleagues, we interact with people in our organizations, and even at home and in family relationships. If we compromise on values such as empathy and kindness and ethics, then we will feel that what, we are perfect. There is no room for growth. But there is always scope for improvement. In fact, kindness is one value which I tell my daughters that what, kindness is the new cool. All of those other, when we were kids, we used to hear that, Arey, this is very cool, this is so cool, that is cool. No, there is so much negativity around us. You know what? We don't need any more negativity. Like someone had put in earlier on, that a positive mindset is so, so important. Sorry, would anyone like to add to that? I can see a raised hand. Okay, so I'll continue. Yeah, so empathy and ethics are, of course, that are values that we must work on, we must improve on. And like I said, they can be, applied across the board. Be kind. One, when you are kind, your actions will be rewarded. Okay, they will be rewarded. And do good, because when you do good, when you do good things, when helping people, we often used to, as children, we had this topic, we had this subject in school. I think it was called moral science. And things like helping people cross the road, right? And if someone is in simple acts of kindness, someone is walking, keep the open the door for them. These are all very, very small acts of kindness, but they go a very, very long way. Just yesterday I met someone, and they were saying that what, your character, your values are the most important thing. In fact, that is one of the first things people notice about you, because those are things that you do for others. There are many things that we do for ourselves. That we are selfish, right? We all are selfish people. We will do for ourselves. But these value systems, being kind, being empathetic, being honest, these are values which come across in our interaction with other people, and they do not go unnoticed. So please, let's all work on these values of ours, right? Just a second, please. Yeah. And when you are doing good, okay, can you answer me something? Okay, when you do good for someone, okay, when you do good for someone, uh, why should you be doing good? Am I audible? Why should you do good for others? I mean, the answer to this question is, when you do something good for others, do not expect okay, we are doing good for others because we are expecting that goodness in return. Don't do it because you want to expect some goodness in return. Do it for the sake of doing something good, and you won't believe, in some way or the other, that goodness will be rewarded. You would be amazed that when you do good without expecting some goodness in return, it will somehow come back to you. And at that time, you will be surprised that, you know what? Where did this come from? I did not do it. I did it for the goodness of my heart, but you will be rewarded in some way. You help someone, and someone else will be helping you, right? So these are all actions and areas that I feel that there is a great scope of improvement because we don't do enough. Like someone was saying in the beginning of the talk, that we get so busy with our day-to-day routine, especially women, right? I mean, we wake up in the morning, we've got we need to pack lunch boxes, we need to get the children, send them to school, the husband needs to go to office, then we start cooking, and there's just so much happening that we don't have time for the things that truly, truly matter. Askar sir, I hope I'm not, I still have some time, right? Okay.
2 3 minutes more.
How much?
2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll try to be a bit quicker. All right. Another area which I feel that we do have some scope of improvement is especially, which helps tremendously in our day-to-day relationships, whether it's at work or I'm talking across the board. I'm not talking only at home, or it's not limited to only home. It actually applies across the board. It is giving benefit of doubt to people. Okay, if someone don't take things at face value. Yeah, someone says something to you in a negative way, or they snap at you, or they say something that are like sort of unacceptable. Give that person a benefit of doubt. That person may be having a bad day, that person may be sick, that person may be troubled. That is why that person may have just snapped. Try and ignore that person's fault. Okay, if you cover someone's fault, they will cover yours, because like I said, no one is perfect. We will do things which are which are sort of not acceptable. So when you need your faults to be covered, that someone or someone else will cover yours. I think I'm going to try to skip the other part. I mean, obviously, sort of honesty and integrity are other values which are very important. But I think something that I feel I have the greatest scope of improvement. I was just discussing this with my husband before our talk, is discipline and time management. If we are not disciplined and if we don't manage our time, then believe me, I think a lot is lost. Because it is so, these values are so important. There are, I've got a high schooler. My daughter is a high schooler. Next year, she'll be going to college, inshallah. And if we don't manage our time, if we are not disciplined, then I just think that, it's so hard to juggle all the things that we need to. I did have a few other areas that I wanted to talk about. What I'm going to do is we can talk about it in the question and answer session in the end. But I did come across a beautiful saying that one of my very dear friends, she shared it on Facebook just a couple of days back, and I just thought I will share it here. Virtually nothing is impossible in this world if you just put your mind to it and maintain a positive attitude. You are never too old to set another goal or dream a new dream. Every day may not be good, but there's something good in every day. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sameera Mohsin, for your insightful thoughts. I will try to summarize it once when both the speakers have finished sharing their thoughts, and before we open the floor for the question and answers, so that the audience, the participants, they get an overall understanding of what both the speakers have said. Thank you very much once again, Ms. Sameera. Now I call upon Mr. S.P. Singh, and before that, let me introduce Mr. S.P. Singh to you. S.P. Singh works for an office automation company as technical manager in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He is the Toastmasters District 104 Humorous Speech Champion of 2004. This is a contest that is held annually in Saudi Arabia, and he is the champion of that. He's a mentor, he's a public speaker, he's a personality development coach. He has trained and mentored over 100 children into public speaking and leadership. He believes in leaving a legacy, values human connections, loves music, and travel. His favorite quote is, "It is all in the mind." Now I hand over the platform to S.P. Singh, Mr. S.P. Singh, to share his valuable thoughts with us. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. S.P. Singh.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Asghar. First of all, am I audible?
One minute. Mr. Raneem, could you please mute your mic? Yes. Yes, go ahead, Mr.
All right. Am I audible? Is it comfortable?
Yes.
My voice, or do I need to speak loud?
It depends on what statement you are saying.
Yeah. I'm at home, so I know.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon to everyone, and it's indeed a pleasure to be at such a platform where we can share our thoughts that can be used for something better. With a very vast topic that we are going to talk about, and already Madam Sameera has given, I think many pointers to really work on. I would like to share my thoughts. What life has given me, and I've been trying to share it around, and of course learn from a lot of people. When we talk about areas of improvement, at the start, let me just ask you, what happens with us? How we live our lives on a daily basis? If you meet someone, after the first hello, what is the next question that is generally asked? Can anybody tell me? Hi or hello, and what's the next?
How are you?
Yeah. So most of you would agree. How are you? And what's the answer generally?
I'm fine.
Yeah. I'm fine. And about you, right? So when we say I'm fine, are we fine? Are we truly fine? Well, in my understanding, not always. At times we are faking. At times we are telling a lie. Because we can't express that we are not fine. But at more than half of such instances, we are not fine. Now, why should we have that? Is life only about that? It's just to be fine is fine? I don't think so. So, what should we do? I mean, how should life be? It's a very difficult question, but I used to think about it since I was a teenager, probably. I don't know before that also, but I was quite sensitive. So, I used to think a lot. I did not know about for long till I had kids who were like around 7, 8 years old. And there I used to connect with a lot of things that has to do with children. So I was going through a story which is about classroom, kind of an anecdote where teacher asks students, and obviously we generally do that in our social circles and family circles, that at family also. We ask children, what do you want to be when you grow up? What you want to be when you grow up? Do you remember anybody asking you? To a teenager, that is the worst question that you can ask, especially to the one who has not been able to decide. I was one of them. And so I was talking about this anecdote that I came across when my kids were very young. A teacher asked the class to write on a piece of paper what they want to be in life and fold it and give it to her. And almost everybody did that. Obviously, the answers were engineer, doctor, architect, and leader, so many. And there was one strange kid, strange because of the answer that he gave. When teacher opened it, she looked at the child in a very, very demeaning manner, surprising manner, like she didn't get the idea. Can anyone guess what the child would have written?
Happy.
Yes. So you remember the story. He had written happy. That gave me, when my kids were young, I stopped asking my children and anybody's children what you want to be when you grow up. Because I myself don't know what I want to be in my life. However, that gave me one good connection. That connection went back to my childhood, to my grandparents, and to my mother. I never saw them upset in life. Despite challenges, despite problems, they were not the richest of all. They were not having all the materials. They were not having the best status in the society. And they had a hardship, they had problems. But so surprised that my grandmother, I never saw her upset. I can't recollect a single instance. My mother, having so many challenges, I never saw her crying like a lady. Now, I don't want to say it's not anything wrong about the ladies, but she used to put up a brave face in all hardships and she used to manage it somehow. And when we asked her what happened, she says nothing. Over a period of time, when I pondered on this, until my daughter once asked me, she discusses a lot, she's expressive, she has a language, she can talk, she can give words to feelings, emotions, and she can discuss with me. Generally, people don't. She said that we don't see you happy. I said, I'm happy. I'm happy always. But then, actually, a kid asking me, Dad, are you happy? Makes me happy in whatever condition I am. Whatever the turmoil, whatever the challenge, whatever the problem. So there I developed this point in the mind, how you feel when you're happy. Now I want you to just give me 30 seconds of yours and remember If you need to close your eyes, you can close your eyes. If you need to keep them open, no problem. Try to remember an instance in your life from the past where you were really happy. Can you see the picture? Can you think about it? Can you feel it? How is whatever extent you can go? Can we all please try? Ms. Asker, can we all try? Just remember your happiest moment that you can and hold it there. Yes, time up. I hope you have done it. I can't see your reactions here, and I don't want to ask the question right now. But if you have done this, you will understand what I'm trying to tell you. I developed a habit of storing these moments in the best possible way and the most accessible way. Like I've shut my eye, I can go to that frame. I can go to that frame of mind. I can go to that moment. I can connect with that moment. And that's how I understood what was the level of the mindset that my parents maintained and what can make you happy. Now let's come to our problems. What I have noticed in this society when I'm discussing problems with people, those who share with me as a good friend or as a counselor or as a mentor, generally we end up feeling bad, not feeling happy, feeling challenged, feeling upset because of a few things that we compare ourselves with others. Could it be money? Could it be status? Could it be their family? Could it be their way of life? Unless you have really compared yourself with somebody and found that because somebody is like that and I'm not happy. If you keep an eye on this, majority of the time, this will be the reason in the background. Another reason would be, I wanted this to happen in this way, it did not happen. Whether it could be your kid studying well, whether it could be your boss treating you nicely, whether it could be your relatives giving you respect, whether it could be the amount of you're making, as your income. So unless these are the factors behind, it is difficult to feel unhappy. You get up in the morning, as we say, get up in the morning, go to the mirror, smile. You're alive, you can smile, you can breathe. Fine, the day is open for you. You have another day to live. Isn't it a happy moment? In theory, it sounds like quite big and impractical until you really do it. Until you really do it, you will not believe in this. If you want to try, just do it for 7 days at a stretch without failing. Do it 7 days at a stretch. Go to the mirror, and if possible, go to a full mirror where you can see yourself standing. Give it a try and see how the thought process changes. I have given this technique to many who were in a problem because their kid is not studying, because the husband is not treating the lady well, because the lady expects certain things to happen and nobody helps her. And the husband doesn't want to discuss this because men generally don't disclose unless with a female friend or with a sister or with somebody close, a daughter close to her about the problem. So I don't know about that part.
You, Mr. Singh.
Pardon?
We have just 1.5 minutes more for you to conclude.
Yeah, thank you. So when I discuss all this, the baseline went to the topics that I talked about. I give them simple principle. Okay, do your part, don't expect. And just keep doing your part without expecting. Actually, it is you who is troubling yourself, not the other person. If that person would realize that everything is fine, they may change their response. But whether they change or not, you are already in a good mindset. You're already positive. You're already doing your work good. So you should be happy and satisfied. Now, when these things are applied, I have found majority of your problems go in the background. It doesn't really trouble you because you're focusing on positive. And as Madam Sameera just told, these are the, and she has spelled out each thing very clearly, your ethics, your values. Yes, they are the guidelines to follow where what you are doing, whether it is guiding you in the right direction or not. And that is where, for the last 10 years or more, wherever I'm asked, whenever I'm asked that, what's your favorite quote? I say it's all in the mind. With that, I give the platform back to Mr. Askar. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Singh, for your insightful thoughts on being happy and how to be happy. Before we open the floor for the question and answer sessions, questions you can post to the speakers. Not only questions, you can also express your thoughts on the subject matter as long as you can be brief. So this is not a lecture time that you can go on talking. So could you please, if you want to express your thoughts, do please express it in the most briefest manner that you can, so that others also have the chance and opportunity to express their thoughts. And let me summarize the way I understood from both the speakers. Ms. Sameera Mohsin shared her thoughts on the areas of improvement amongst all people, no matter what category or what gender, what social standing you are. The areas of improvement for the people are, number one is work on your value system. Identify your values and work on them. And number two, improve in the discipline of giving benefit of doubt to others. In this way, you will reduce a lot of tension and ill feelings amongst others. You also need to improve on time management. And we all are caught up, she said, in our day-to-day activities, and that makes improvement difficult because we are so busy in our day-to-day activities that we are not able to focus on the areas where we have to improve. Well, I will speak on this a little bit more later, right? This is what, in a gist, what Ms. Sameera Mohsin shared her thoughts, her valuable thoughts on. Now, Mr. S.P. Singh, he distilled his thoughts on this vast topic on one gem, and that is to be happy. And how can one be happy? How can one improve one's happiness? He said it in so many different words by giving his own personal story, right? Giving an example of his mother and his grandmother, that you need to stop your comparisons with others. You can be happy, says Mr. Singh, that by controlling your expectations, right, you can be happy. It is your expectations which probably would make you unhappy, or probably depending upon what is it that you're expecting, that you be happy. So control your expectations, stop comparing, and be happy. This is the gist of what I understood from S.P. Singh. And now I open the floor for you people. You can unmute your mic, pose your question, address the speaker to whom the question you are posing, and then the speaker will answer. And if you have any thoughts to share, you can directly share it, but please, please, please be brief. Address the question by telling the name of the speaker first. My question is to Ms. Sameera Mohsin, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Here I open the floor to the speaker. A participant. Go ahead, please. Yes. Anyone?
Mr. Asker, there are questions on the chat box, please. Can you check?
How to overcome overthinking, which spoils your happiness? I think I will give this question to Mr. S.P. Singh. How to overcome overthinking, which spoils your happiness? Mr. Singh? Hello? Okay. Ms. Sameera, would you like to take this up?
Yeah, this is a very difficult question because I mean, as human beings, we always tend to overthink. We always look for possible scenarios that, if this happens, if that happens, and sometimes, we create situations that do not even exist because, we tend to become negative. We tend to look at worst case scenarios of things, that what if this happens, what if that happens, and we are actually, sometimes we even maybe make a mountain of a molehill sometimes. I mean, I can tell you that I do. When I am overthinking, um I think of situations which don't even exist. I think it's very important to not keep your mind idle, because what they say, that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So be productive. Don't let your mind be idle. Keep your brain engaged. Keep being involved in positive things so that you don't overthink, so that you don't think of negative things. And I think another very key important aspect is to be grateful, because if you are grateful, then you will not, if you are grateful, if you look, I mean, I was so impressed with Mr. Singh talking about anecdotes, or things that he learned from his mother and grandmother, because those are values that that stay with you for a very long time, in fact all of your life. And I think one thing that my father used to teach me, he used to say that always look at the people who are below you, in so many ways, and then you will be grateful. You will be grateful for what you have, and you will hopefully not overthink about possible scenarios which may not even happen.
Thank you, Ms. Sameera.
Hello.
Thank you for that. 1 minute, Mr. Singh. I'll just give you another question. Probably you can also add to that after
Yeah.
you this question.
Okay.
This
Yeah.
question is posed by Ms. Nikat Jamil. Being human, being human beings, we tend to expect. How can we control this? How can we control our expectations? If we are human beings, it's so natural that we expect. So, what have you got to say about this, Mr. Singh?
All right. That's a wonderful question, because the previous one I missed it because I had to get up and open the door. So this is kind of a continuation of what the previous scenario was, I think, because I missed the question, but I heard the explanation of Madam Sameera. Now, what to expect? I would say the exercise to do is simple. Go back to last 10 scenarios where you were in a dilemma, what will happen, whether this will happen or not. In last 10 times, how many times it clicked your way? Right? How many times it clicked your way? You will find that majority clicked your way. Second thing you will find is your fears did not come true most of the times. So now what to expect? Expect the best possible. Expect the best possible to happen. And if it does not happen, what will happen? Nothing will happen. Nothing to worry about it. Because if it is supposed to be the destiny, or it is supposed to be the situation, or if it's supposed to be the outcome, there will be, if you study what is the outcome and you dig into it, you will find why it happened, and you will understand why it happened. So you will refine your state of mind to expect in a different way in the future. Go back, find out how many times your things happened your way. You'll find definitely something positive. Secondly, see how many times your fears did not come true. Most of the times, what you have feared, what you have overthought has not come true. It doesn't happen. The ratio is like that. And what we expect is always be positive. Whether it is possible or not in your logical mind that it will happen, or in the circumstantial factors given, even if it is not, if you expect the best thing, that is the way to look forward, because that will keep your anxiety down. That will make sure that things will happen, good things will happen. And when good thing will happen, that will strengthen you a lot. Next time you will know, if I expect the right thing, it will happen, because when I expected the wrong, it did not happen. So that helps an overthinker like me. Also, I'm overthinker. I help myself by this, and this works. Take it from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to ask a question or share a thought? Yes, we have someone.
Mr. Askar, 1 second. Give me a moment. There are two very profound sayings that we always use, and it is always around us. One is, "Jo hoga, acha hoga." That's one. And second, "मुद्दई लाख बुरा चाहे तो क्या होता है, वही होता है जो मंजूर खुदा होता है." So when things are not in your hands, don't try to put your hands there. Just be within your limit.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Singh. There's one more question from Mr. Fareed. Sometimes the situation is very harsh that we can't cope up with it. We can't control our emotions. What to do in this situation? It's like everything around us is wrong, bad, negative. He is not addressed to whom. Anyone can take it out. Yeah.
Very, very tough. Very, it's, I think going
this
back
platform
to...
is making you all think. Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Askar?
This platform is making you all think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really putting us in reflective mode, because as Mr. Fareed is saying, sometimes, some things are just easier said than done. It's so easy for us to preach. But when we do get in situations that are difficult, it's not easy. It is not always easy to cope with them. And especially when we know that everything around us is not going right. Personally, I think the only thing is patience. That is the only thing that we need to cope, because time does heal everything. And patience is a virtue that we have to possess, because sometimes there are so many situations that we don't have any control over, that we really can't do anything about, and we can only hope and pray that, with our patience, with our faith, it will be a brighter day tomorrow.
Thank you, Ms. Sameera. Mr. Singh, could you briefly want to comment on that? Briefly.
Yeah, I'll just add one word to that. Help that we can hope, pray, and believe. Believe that you will survive it, you will thrive, it will go positive. Just believe this. And I know it's not easy. I face it on day-to-day basis. I am an overthinker. I multiply my problems before they become a problem, and naturally they don't happen. So believe that it will be good, and hope and pray. That's definitely a good thing. And you are a survivor because you are alive. You're going on. Things will work. Things will work good for you. Have the stronger this belief, the better you will live a good life. The better chances that you will live a good life.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Thank you, Mr. Singh. We are running short of time. You're almost coming to an hour's session. Right. I would like to introduce Alt Academy. Alt Academy, Academy for Learning and Training. I just came up with the idea. You can say I'm the founder of this. And it's a WhatsApp group where I want people to come on board and think before they speak. Because it is easy to talk, but how easy it is to think and talk. So that is the reason why I started off with this first program, Open Thoughts program, where we give a topic 15 days before. Like this question was posed 15 days before to these speakers. And they did their wonderful research, wonderful understanding and insight, and they distilled their wisdom in the 7-8. Now that is called thinking, right? And it is really, really, I'm very happy that Ms. Sameera, Mohsin, and Mr. Singh has shared their valuable thoughts on this Alt Academy. Do join our WhatsApp group, right? I can share the link. And the second is in collaboration with Parrho&Parrhao. The Parrho&Parrhao is a platform which is dedicated to helping children learn while teaching. It is said that the best way to learn is to teach. And this platform, Parrho&Parrhao, which was founded by Mr. Jamil, and the co-founders are Ms. Sana Junaid and Ms. Sameera Mohsin, right? They are shaping up this saying. The best way to learn is to teach. On this platform, which has around 493 members as of date, and it's still growing, you can invite other kids to this platform where they are able to teach other kids. And in the process, they learn, they become better teachers. So these are the two platforms to encourage. My thoughts on the subject as the host. When I first came up with this topic on Alt Academy, what are the areas where people need improvement? Immediately, I got a message. I said, this is too vast. Please make it specify. Right? I said, let it be vast. Our thinkers will distill it. And they have really done a very good job, right? In general, why did I pick up this topic? It is because I was wondering, if we have to educate people, we have to first know in what area we have to educate them. We have around 200 people in our platform. If I have to educate these 200 people, what is the area that I must pick up to educate them? I needed to know that first. And that is the reason why I kept this platform of what the whole platform, so that we get an umbrella of the area of improvements. What we spoke about today is only a scratching of the iceberg. For example, as Ms. Sameera Mohsin, she said, you need to improve your value system. You need to work on your time management. These are the what's. How will you improve your value system? How will you improve your time management? How will you improve your expectations and control your expectations, right? In the subsequent subjects, now we have a direction. Maybe, inshallah, in the next program, we may come up with how to improve your time management. We may come up with how to discover your values. We may come up with how actually you can take the steps of being happy. How actually can you control your expectations? How of it? What of it is very easy. How of it, that is what it needs brainstorming. And to summarize the whole thing, all people, no matter who you are, needs 5 dimensions of improvement. There are 5 areas where you need to improve. Number 1 is your mental dimension. Number 2, your physical dimension. Number 3, your social emotional dimension. Number 4 is your spiritual dimension. 4, right? Social emotional, I clubbed it together, right? There are 4 dimensions which you need to improve proportionally. Otherwise, you will not be effectively functioning. How we go about doing this? Do keep tuned to our platform. Inshallah, in the next section, we will come up with a topic and speakers who will list down how things need to be improved. Now, from here on, we will be taking each area, one specific. So not to worry, the topic is not going to be broad from henceforth. Thank you very much for all. And once
Thank
again,
you.
once again, I thank Mr. Jamil for sharing the ID with us and
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Askar and Mr. Singh. It was such a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Same here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Nice
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Have a nice
Have a good
day.
listening to you. And
Thank
thanks
you.
to the
Bye-bye.
audience. Take care.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Askar.
Thank you. Thank you.